Welcome into PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. With me is Gary Stein, who owns a video production company, and he's a wildly talented play-by-play announcer who is the voice of the UMBC Retrievers.
You the man,
and
Stan.
any other thing that he can get paid for. All right.
There you go.
We're going to talk to one of our favorite guests on the show, the head coach of Towson football, Rob Ambrose. But first, I got to talk to you a little bit about the Costas Inn. Everybody in town knows the Costas Inn is the place for crabs, steamed crabs, crab cakes, crab soup. They have tremendous specials every night of the weeknights, Monday through Friday. But maybe you didn't know that since the pandemic started over 2.5 years ago, the Costas Inn has stepped up their curbside pickup. Very simple ball game. If you're not comfortable going into a restaurant but want to eat top flight food, go to CostasInn.com, look at their menu, order off the menu, pay for your food online, and then pick it up. And you don't even have to get out of your car. It's that simple. Costas Inn, classic Baltimore restaurant with fantastic curbside. Check it out, Costas Inn. All right, turning to one of our favorite guests, Rob Ambrose. And Rob, that's a scary background back there.
What are you talking about? That's my locker room.
Hey, you open up this Saturday, so just a couple days away. This is your 15th year? I did the math. I can't use my toes and my fingers. Is that right, first of all? And if so, are you still as enthused in year 15 as you were in year 1 through 14?
As far as the math goes, you're talking to an English major and did that for a reason. The books were better than the calculator. So I took this job in 2009. So whatever that number is, that's how long I've been here. Sometimes it feels like I've been here forever. Sometimes it feels like I've been here for like 20 seconds. Still enthused. I'm over the age of 50, and I feel like I'm younger than 30.
That's good.
These kids, and well, it's not just it's nothing I do. It's these kids. It's what we do on a day-to-day basis. They breathe life into everything, and they are the future. And I'm grateful to be a part of whatever it is that they become. We're just working to get them to be the best they can be.
Mike Gathigan gave us a couple notes to go off of. You've had an amazing turnover, and Gary and I talked about it earlier today. How does the enjoyment for what you do and these kids, how is it affected by the fact, like I think Gary, right? You said the number is 50 new players.
50 new players, basically,
since last year. So are these kids? Is each 50 you're going to get now going to reinvigorate you? That's a pretty amazing. That's a pretty amazing turnaround of talent.
It's a different world. It really is. It's a different world. And I've said this a couple of times in a couple of interviews. I'm truly grateful that I'm a son of a high school coach, not a silver spoon guy. I didn't grow up learning one way. When you're a high school football coach, you have to learn to adapt on the fly. You don't know who's coming in and who's leaving and who's going to be eligible. It's constant adaptation. And this is clearly a new world that we're living in. I will tell you that there's not a team that I didn't love. Like you can't do what I do and not love these guys. But there's levels of enjoyment per the kids and per the circumstance and situation. And we've had massive success here, and I loved all those guys. But I've been doing this for a long time. I've never had a 50+ turnover. And just getting to know 50 new guys who love what you love, no matter, they would come from different places, but somehow see Towson University, Towson football, our town, our community. They see that as a place where they want to spend their time. They've been to the carnival, they've seen the puppet strings, and this is where they want to be. And I get to hang out with those dudes, reinvigorating, like. I really don't think it's going to matter where I ever do this. If I can keep being around those type of people, it's a little Peter Pan. It's a little Peter Pan. I don't have a sword. It's a little Peter Pan.
So Rob, it's funny you say the word kids, okay? Because in a normal situation, you would have literally
Come on.
kids, right?
Yeah,
18,
absolutely.
19, 20. Dude, you've got like 25-year-old players on your team. In fact, 2 of them are vying to be the starting quarterback. So they're not technically kids, okay? They are men, right? And so that's my question is before we get to who they are and what they are and how they are and all that, it's different. You're coaching more men than you've ever coached before.
Hold on. You've only hit the bottom of the top. I got
26, 27.
Hold on. I got guys that got more degrees than I do. I asked my wife, I go, how old were we when we met? And that kid's older and he's still playing college football. And I was out coaching when I met my wife. This is it. What I came to is coaching professional athletes. They're not 17, 18-year-old kids. They're grown men. And how you treat them, how you coach them is different than how you would coach a 17 or 18-year-old kid. And we have from 17 to, I don't want to say 27, but it's pretty darn close. And that's again, a different experience, truly different.
Gary, this might be your chance to get one more year of eligibility in.
I don't think I have any more left, unfortunately. No, but yeah, no, that's got to be interesting, Rob. Absolutely. And Rob, we were joking about it before the interview, and we'll talk more. But 2 of those guys are 7th-year college quarterbacks. Tyrell Pigram, who many people know here from his Maryland days, and then he went and played at Ole Miss in Western Kentucky. Tyler Johnson, they may not know, but he had a pretty good career at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. I know you're not going to name the starting quarterback tonight, but my question is, 3 days before the opener, does your team know who the starting quarterback is? And if not, what does that say about the competition?
Wow, Gary. Wow. These are more saucy questions as we move along.
Gary asked very.
I'm a saucy guy, Rob.
Does the team know who the starter is? Yes.
Okay.
And in reference to the competition, I've truly, this time around, we talk about there might have been a competition between a guy and another guy. Rarely like 3 guys.
You've got 4, right?
I have 6.
6.
I have 6 quarterbacks in camp. We had 6 quarterbacks in camp. And I will tell you that at one point in camp, if we would have had to play a game at that time, I would have felt completely comfortable with 4 of the 6 being a starter. And I've never been in that situation before. So there is talent. There's homegrown talent, very strong homegrown talent, but there's also experienced talent that has come from or gone to other places. And the cool part about it is from a coach's perspective is we want to win. We want to do our best. But as I relearned this year from some of my kids, it's the relationships that these kids too really treasure deeply. And I got a room full of eclectic dudes from different places who all want the ball, but all want us to be successful. And they all work together. And it's kind of the warm fuzzies in the heart kind of thing.
Nice.
We joked before we went on live about the quarterback question. It's like in the book of media people to ask questions about the quarterback. I'm going to ask the second question. I just read last week that Towson is going to serve beer at its home games for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you juggle? I've often felt it's ridiculous not to serve any beer, but how are you going to judge? How are you going to thread that needle of having people come, have a beer or 2, drink responsibly, not be jerks at the game, and handle it? It's trusting of a predominantly young crowd.
It is. I would also like to say that we're stepping into the 1990s now.
Yeah.
That serving beer or alcohol at sporting events is a norm and has been for decades across the country. I'm glad that we're now entertaining the normalcy of this. I would say it's like anything else. It's going to take growing pains and people are going to have to learn. I mean, have you ever been to a game in Philadelphia? I love them. I love them. And I've been downtown for a few too. So I love them too. But it'll have its ups and downs. But in the end, it's going to be like everything else. It's part of an American athletic, or no, it's worldwide athletic experience. And it's the responsibility of the people who go watch the events to truly treat the events and themselves with respect and handle themselves.
And those around them.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to help? Do you think it attracts one extra fan? Do you think it does? Does it,
I would hope so. I could tell you if there was a thing I was kind of interested in. They went, "Hey, we sell beer." I'm in. Like a little bit. Why not? And if you don't want to buy one,
you don't have to.
Doesn't bother you. You don't have to. And if you do, then there's an opportunity of which you didn't previously have. So I would say that would be a benefit.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the team, Rob. It's a lot different, obviously, with 50 new faces or so. You still have, a lot of competition as far as the quarterbacks. How would you describe the team? What adjectives would you use to describe the 2022 Towson Tigers?
Okay. And you notice as you did that, like the smile on my face grew without me.
Well, because you're an English major, so this is good for you.
No, it does not need to be verbose. As a matter of fact, concise is better. Because there are 50 new guys, we have to go do this thing together. You can't just piecemeal it. It has to be real. And 50 guys who don't know 50 other guys. That's a challenge beyond all challenges.
Absolutely.
So as we but no matter where we've come from, nor our age, we do love this game. We truly do. So we respect everyone in the room because we all have that same love. And we honestly spent more time this camp than I've ever spent. I've been doing this for, I'm not giving ages, but it's a long time. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never been around this part of camp.
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Gunnar Henderson is just at a home run in his second major league at bat. Okay.
Of course he did.
I apologize.
Of course he did.
I apologize for interrupting your answer, but
I don't make sure that gets. How about them O's?
Yeah. He just whacked this and it was off a top rate pitcher. Go ahead, Rob. Continue. I'm sorry.
Storybook. This is a fairy tale. I'm high fiving. Good job, Ariel. Back to what we're talking about, like the cool words that people talk, culture, chemistry, all that stuff. These kids respect the fact that they didn't know each other, all want to win, understand that they got to know each other for us to have a chance. And they've thrown themselves in like I've never been involved with in my entire life, ever. And it's so, I can't tell you if they're going to win a million games or, not. But I'll be damned if they're not having a good time playing football together. And these are 100 different guys from 100, it's kind of hard. What is it, Billy Bean? How can you not be romantic about football?
So, Rob, let me ask you this: if you got 50 new guys, right? 50 guys didn't know the other 50 guys. When the assignments come out, like who rooms with who, is that your responsibility to figure that out?
Okay, well, hold on, Gary. As it goes to the, if there's a breath, then there's my responsibility.
Okay, all right. So that, right.
As you see in the years, like the hairs have gone, like
I see it.
And 117 to 22-year-olds. No,
okay.
I have a guy who does that. I have a guy who does that. However,
okay.
I manage, like
you manage it.
Goes through me.
So how did you figure that out? Like so many new guys, did you have a strategy? Like what did you want to try to get done there?
Oh, trying to take a new guy with an old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at similar positions, similar geographic locale, similar years, grades,
right,
majors, in ways that you could create connections that would be greater than the normal bond. So yes, like there's really, you spend your entire time thinking about how can I get them to interact? And to the point where I've blown the whistle and gone, we're not doing anything until one of you says to the other one, hey, I don't know you. Where are you? Like, and I got one guy who loves football so much, he was like, screw this. Dude, seriously, I have no idea who you are. You've been here for 2 weeks. Who are you? Like, he wanted to practice, but damn it, coach isn't going to let us do this until we figure this guy out. So now everybody knows where Johnny went to school. Like, I've never been involved with anything like this before, and it's out of necessity. The standard flat Earth round world, it's out there. So we just have to adapt. And without relationships, football really doesn't get good. And our kids have bought into that completely. So what's the word? I don't have a good word. I don't
want to belabor this, Rob, but you're painting the bright side of having 50 new people in here. How will that whole process, if nothing changes in college football now with the transfer portal, how soon will that get real old, where you're just constantly spending time recruiting new people because other people are leaving you and everybody wants to come here and all? How quickly could that get old?
I can tell you that having the opportunity to meet 50 new guys who love the game of football, who believe that Towson or wherever is where they want to be. That's special in a way that I didn't truly understand, because I've never had that kind of experience. We never have. I can tell you that recruiting they say recruiting never ends, and it doesn't really ever end. But now, like, the perspective of, am I a AAA baseball manager, and my job is to grow this talent so somebody else can pick it and take it to that. I'm looking at a couple kids that are young right now on my roster going, I don't know how long, if the world we live in exists, I don't know how long they'll be here. They're that good. So that's a great job for us recruiting, but we're going to work to develop them so somebody's going to pick them away. I honestly, I think in the future, you may have a 1A, 1AA, or a Power 5, and then an FCS school where they work together, and these guys are their minor league, and you're gonna run their stuff, and you're gonna recruit their kids, and this could go in a million different ways. I can tell you that the way it exists right now, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the kids. The percentage of kids that do not get picked up, it's so ridiculously large that this can't last that long. And to be honest, in the end, while I'm all for opportunities, I truly am, I'm also for working through, growing. I was not the player at 18 that I was at 21. And it's because I worked for that. And I had to earn that personal respect. So I would like to see some of that still exist, and everybody just not keep jumping around and playing leapfrog. It's a challenging time in college athletics.
All right. We're not going to solve the whole issue tonight, so I'll move on from it. So you got a game against Bucknell, first week of the season, this Saturday. But then you come back and you've got the Battle for Greater Baltimore at home. What time does that start on the 10th?
Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
On MPT.
Night game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on MPT. Okay,
MPT.
that's nice.
And it's Morgan at Towson State.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit
No.
about.
Hold on. No,
Not Towson
you don't
State.
get out of this.
Morgan State at Towson University.
Thank you, sir.
How do the players look forward to this game? Does it mean something a little different to them, Rob?
Of course, there's a little bit of crosstown bragging rights. The world we live in with social media now is very, very small, and all athletes know all other athletes. So the immediate ability to touch everyone. You used to, when we lived, hey, do you know so and so's phone number, and you write it down, and then you're no. It's just the Instagram, find them, you're good. So everybody knows everybody. There's definitely bragging rights. I honestly, I've had great respect for Morgan State since I was younger. I learned as a child what they were, how amazing they were. And so I grew up under that. To see Towson actually be at that level now, from what I knew from the 60s, like, wow, that's so awesome. So I believe that this is a game that should always be played forever and ever and ever, no matter where they go, no matter where we go. And to be honest, no matter where Maryland goes, the three of us should always keep playing. But in this game alone, I'd like to see it where it's not played there, and it's not played at Towson. It's played downtown, and it's Baltimore's game. It's our city's game. And I think it's great that MPT is doing it. I think If you can't make it to the game, I think you should be able to see it on TV. It's the celebration of two great institutions who play Division I football, who are in our area, and we should all be supporting them, no matter where we are.
Saturday, the 10th of September at 7 o'clock at Unitas Stadium.
That is correct. So, hey, I was had a chance to read Matt Schlissel's stuff, who does a great job covering Towson. You obviously talked to him the other day. Mike Gaffigan and I had a conversation. You've got some really interesting players on your team, not only at the quarterback position. I'm talking about Pigram and Johnson and that whole battle that's going on there. But one other guy that caught my attention after reading about him is this kid, Mason Chalua, who is an offensive/defensive lineman. And what I mean by that, Rob, is that he actually plays both offense and defense. So, and that's rare these days. I mean, you know, I know he's not a Chuck Bednarik necessarily, but my question is that out of necessity or is that out of talent?
Yes.
Both.
Okay, so I got Mason's transfer, played at UCF, played on the national championship team at JMU, and was still looking for a different situation. So when he came to us, and he played for us last year, he played well on the defensive line. But as we're talking about his body type and his make, like, I'm looking at him going, "You're an NFL offensive lineman." Like I can see it. And you got Randall.
Yeah, he's like 6'7", 320 or something, right? Yeah.
But tremendously athletic, incredibly cerebral, long. Randall Harris was a kid that we had in the 13 team that was a defensive lineman. We moved to offense, and he played in the NFL for a little bit. Perfect example of the move from D-line to offense. And I'm seeing the same thing. And Mason's always like, "Yeah, everybody always tells me that. Everybody always tells me that." So come the summertime, we're working out, and Mason's seeing what he believes to be the impressive depth of our defensive line. And he's like, "Need any help on offense?" and we started talking, and he and I have a great relationship, and it went from a joke to a serious conversation. And you know, he's thinking about playing to the next level too. And if he knows he's going to play with a bunch of guys that are really great, that he believes are really great on defense, the one thing that could make him a more attractive prospect would be playing both ways. And there aren't a lot of kids that can do this. When I was at UConn, I had one, Darius Butler, who played DB for the Colts for a long time. But he played offense for me for a little bit his senior year as well. And a lot of kids ask, and you have to be a special kind of human. You have to be really, really smart. You have to basically master your position on one side of the ball, where you don't even have to think about it anymore, to go do the other. And Mason has done that, and he's splitting time, and he will play on both sides of the ball this week.
That's fabulous. Hey, one other name that popped out after, again, reading and talking, you have a kid in the defensive backfield named Robert Potts, who I have not seen personally. I'll be right up front with you on that. But from what I've heard, it's like one of the fastest kids ever to play at Towson. This kid is like, apparently runs like the wind.
Robert Tops runs like the wind?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Robbie's the leader of the secondary, and he's fast. Oh boy, I don't know where you're getting your stuff. Even if that's true, I'm not going to admit to it. Not on the air. What are you talking about? Let's put it this way.
He's fast.
He took the entirety of the secondary and took their speed from last year and compared it to this year. This year wins the race. Feeling pretty good about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Rob, before we let you go, the conference, the CAA, you lost James Madison, but in its place, you've gained Monmouth, Stony Brook, North Carolina A&T, and Hampton. What's the overall strength of the conference right now?
Well, I'd say the strength of the conference would be two things. One, our foundational history. That the core of the conference that was, go back decades, the Yankee is still intact. And honestly, that is the pillars. That is the center of the thing which everyone wants to come to. Honestly, if you look at the additions, I don't within the region in which we exist, I don't know if we could find a better quality. It could be a little bit enigmatic because of where they are, but I don't think we could have got more quality than we did. These are tremendous academic and athletic institutions that fit the footprint both geographically and intellectually what these schools want to be. I think it's a little crazy that we're take as many. That's a lot of teams, and it's a pretty big footprint. But if you evaluate the school by school, it's pretty impressive. I think it's nothing but enhance the reputation of the conference.
Hey, I promise you, if you come on with us next year, I won't ask you a question about Mike Loxley. But to close tonight's show, Gary and I were just at his what's now a yearly barbecue at his house for the media in Baltimore and Washington. He's really done under the circumstances there, he's done a pretty remarkable job at getting more talent there than ever before, getting a higher level quarterback. Do you think he can really be successful in taking Maryland to that next level? And I know you're fond of Mike.
I am. We're lucky enough to play together in college. We've been friends. Started coaching on the same day. At the same place. And I couldn't be more happy. I don't think there is a more appropriate person to lead that program for where they are in this world right now than Mike Loxley. Truly. I don't have any doubt about his ability to lead them towards success. I do, however, doubt if he's going to be given the time to be able to take it where it needs to go. That when you leave the ACC and go to where they went, that's like going from Division III to Division I. And I'm not being insulting to any of the entities. And it's the highest of the high in the biggest of the big. And that's a time frame that takes time to build. So I hope they give him the time, because I truly do not doubt that he can get it done. I know he can.
All right. We appreciate your being on with us. Again,
Thanks,
the
as always,
season
Rob.
opens this Saturday, September 3rd at Bucknell, September 10th at 7:00 at Towson. It'll be the battle for Greater Baltimore as Morgan State plays Towson University. Rob Ambrose, many thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Thank you. And thank everybody for tuning in. For Gary Stein and Coach Rob Ambrose, I'm Stan Charles, and we'll see you down the road, not too far. Bye.